Welcome to podcast number 201. Are you who you want to be, or are you assembled by accident? Stay with us.
This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome, everybody. I was on a coaching call today and something hit me. There are some other podcasts that I've done in the past that talk about personal organization, having a mindset, the right mindset, a morning routine, and then creating clarity about your life. And have you ever had one of those moments where it just kind of all comes together and you realize, wait a minute, these are totally tied together. And if I didn't explain the context, then people might not understand why it's so impactful and important. And so that's what we're here to do tonight. This might be one of the, a short podcast because I want it to be impactful, but I decided to go ahead and do this one right now because it was not only on my mind, but it's so important, not only for 2021, for you, for us in our careers, but to tie all of this information together. And I will say that again, this concept is based around personal organization. I just can't emphasize that enough. Everything comes back to, all success comes back to personal organization and how you invest your time. It's basically like, if you're an investor and, you have money to invest, but you can't get it out of the bank. It's all locked out. That's what it's like to not have personal organization, right? Every bit of time that you have is invested. Let's say you have 100 units of time to invest. I'm going to put 20 there, 30 there, 50 there. And those investments need to bring you a return on that investment, right? And if they aren't bringing you a return on investment, then you're really wasting those resources, right? And when we aren't personally organized, we don't even have those in order to, meaning the ability to spend those resources, or the resources are getting wasted. And so we wouldn't want to have $100,000 in the bank, or $10,000 in the bank, or $50,000 in the bank that we couldn't spend. It's just sitting there, right? So why would we be okay with having time and opportunities that we could invest in that are locked behind this lack of having a personal organization system? So we can't emphasize enough the need for that. So basically what I'm going to talk about tonight is, how does your own personal clarity around your life, personal organization, your mindset, and your morning routine all tie together? It's remarkable. So let's go ahead and get started here. A couple of things I want to go over. What am I excited about in life? I'm excited about consulting calls. I've been getting some good feedback from clients that have a retainer with me, and we do training, we do meetings, I do research for them, I send stuff their way, we do development of key things, and these clients are so good, they'll usually take an idea, go implement, and come back and be like, hey, we did this. And the energy and the positivity and the growth that's happening is over the top. I am excited about consulting calls, consulting interactions on a retainer. They work. This sounds bad because I should be a quote unquote professional with like unlimited experience, but they work so much better than I thought. A consultant really, it's no different than having an internal practitioner, or for a project to have a project director, or for somebody to have a mentor, right? The idea of consultants isn't that foreign to us, actually. We all need mentors. We all need guides. We all need people that have been there before. We all need people that help plug holes in our organization, right? And a consultant helps show you the holes. And you can be steering your ship in a good direction, right where you need to be, but you're not going to reach your destination if there's holes, right? So I like that. Somebody told me about that the other day. So let's talk about some feedback from our listeners. This is a real simple one, but I am putting all of them that I'm getting up here. And well, at least the ones that I remember to put up here, because I get so much from LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook and email and everywhere this way and that. And I appreciate them because it makes me feel like we're heading in a good direction. This is what he said. Listen to a few episodes. I really like the podcast. I too want to elevate construction. Nice little message. I appreciate that. Appreciate you sending it our way. What's changing in the construction industry? So the use of consultants, I talked about that up on what I was excited about. The use of consultants, I'm seeing more and more that like the really good companies that have it together use the consultant. You know, DPR used Jim Collins to get started, right? Met with another really dynamic construction company with a great culture. They have consultants on their leadership team, and then mentors. Everybody needs a mentor, and we shouldn't ignore the need for mentors or the ability to be in a mastermind where you have people with experience that are grouping together to benefit each other, focused on one key aspect of their career, right? Masterminds, mentors, cannot overemphasize the need for those things and the need for consultants in our life. It's fantastic. Everyone needs a mentor. Everyone needs to join a mastermind at one time or another. So we're gonna get right into this podcast. It's going to be really good. I'm going to be high energy as I'm explaining this, but here's your conflict. You haven't designed yourself. Stay with us. We're going to have a good time right now. So as we enter in this topic where I'm talking about designing yourself, I will say that when I was with Tony Robbins, he said, I've designed this MF, and he cussed a little bit, and he was, and if you've ever been around Tony Robbins, he cusses a lot, but he's like, I designed this guy, Tony Robbins, and at other times you'll hear him. Be called Tones or Anthony or, different names. Tony is this person, this successful person that he's created that can bless the lives of so many people. And through proper practices, he's designed this person with the right mental state and the ability to show up and give. And when he calls that name, Tony, come here, the monkey mind, the randomness, the lack of discipline goes away, and he shows up how he needs to be. And I, after I did that training, also did the same thing. I designed this guy. I designed Schroeder, and I call him that, especially in the superintendent role, director role. I'm not monkey minding it. I'm not fearful. I'll go into any situation. I'll handle it. I'm on it because when I summon Schroeder and I say, come here, it comes like an obedient animal would come to its master. Come here. I want my mind, and it will obey me. It will obey me. I've designed this person to be successful. Now I'm authentic, but I'm not, because all of us become somebody, right? Through experiences, inputs, friends, books. I didn't let that happen by happenstance. I designed this person. I designed this person to be more caring. I designed this person to be more fearless. I designed this person to be more horizontal and open and collaborative. I designed this person to do videos and to write books. I designed this person. And when I call Schroeder, get over here, he comes just like an obedient animal because my mind does what I say it needs to do. I'm not going to have a monkey mind telling me what to do. Like I'm holding a monkey in the grocery store and it keeps pulling cans off the shelf. Not going to do it. So I want to say that the system works. And we can't underestimate the fact that this works. And so if you go to Tony Robbins, you get coaching from me or whatever, we need to design who we want to be, the person that will leave the legacy that we were built for. We have natural tendencies, skills, traits, strengths. What are we going to use those strengths for? And so The principle is we need to design our life. Ask yourself, who do you want to be? What is the name of that person? And name that person. Who is that person? The field director, superintendent, the person that shows up for me is called Schroeder. The person in business that's collaborative, great with direct reports, in coaching and other things, I call him the coach, right? Because that's exactly how I need to show up. And that's a little bit different mindset. But here's what I'm getting at with all this and how everything ties together. In the personal organization mastery, which everybody needs this. I mean, even if I never got paid, I'd say like, you have to do this training. It is over the top fantastic. You have to do it. I can't believe that we aren't taking enough time to go do that. It's over the top fantastic if you go through it and implement it and then have the time to do things, okay? In that training, I take people through a clarity sheet, which says, what are your strengths? And they do a test. And then I say, what is your mission in life? What is your purpose? What's the vision for that? What does that look like? And what are your values? Meaning, who are you? And where are you going? And where are you going according to your unique strengths and talents? Okay. Then from that, we go figure out what's important right now, goals that will support that. And then we put that on leader standard work. Okay. That's one thing. Okay. Then the other thing is we teach people about focus, physiology, and language. That if we want to show up in any situation, our physiology, how we're standing, treating our bodies is important. The language that we speak, the words that we're saying, and what we're focused on will get us there. Okay. And that we should train our minds to have the right set point. You've all known poor people. And poor people, they're acting like victims. They're like, oh, I can't do that. It wasn't my fault. They don't give, they take. They don't focus on adding value first, right? They spend their money. They don't live, in a certain way. And some poor people even do save and scrimp and save, but they save and scrimp and save on a dead end job for so long that then they're like eating dog food in retirement, right? They're poor minded. And then there's rich people that add value first, that they give to other people. They know how to deal with people. They're always in the learning zone. They're out there taking risks, making investments, aligning with their life, right? And they could have like a couple $1,000,000, lose it all in bankruptcy, and in a couple of months they earn it back. A poor person could be poor. You give them a couple $1,000,000, a couple of months, years, whatever, they're back being poor because their mind is poor. I've talked about a couple of times that, if you're in a room and you have a thermostat and you set it to 72 degrees and it gets cold, once you shut the doors, it'll go back to 72 degrees. Same thing if it gets too hot, you got a party in there, you're dancing, and then everybody leaves, you shut the doors, it's going to go back to 72 degrees. It's going to go back to the set point. And so the reason we talk, and I talk so much about mindset, I'm not attempting to be fluffy on the podcast. I'm saying that if you're a logical person that loves data, here's your data. You are building neurological pathways every day. And that science is true, that in your morning routines, if you're not focusing on gratitude and what two things you're going to give, or what are you going to give the world and being a go-giver that day, the neural pathways are heading more into a taker mentality and will not support success. And so there are rich-minded people and poor-minded people. That's why the book Think and Grow Rich isn't just grow rich. It's you have to think that way. You have to have a mental set point of being rich, and then you will become rich. And so it's just like the thermostats, right? And it'll go back to whatever you're set at. So your personal mindset is key. And we have podcasts that have talked about that before. I've also had podcasts talking about the morning routine. I also have podcasts talking about personal organization. So here is how they tie together. And I can't believe I didn't think about this before, but it came to me tonight. And it came to me when I was using the thermostat example, and I was coaching somebody, and I said, you have to have a rich mind. You have to get your wealth set point higher, your success set point higher, your giving set point higher. It's all about your set point. And then I likened it to the HVAC system. I said, once you do the set point, you have to have the right size duct and the right size mechanical equipment and the right size power feeds for those things, right? That is like your personal organization. If you don't have the capacity in that HVAC system, it doesn't matter what you set your thermostat to. It doesn't matter, right? Because it's not going to feed the hot or cold air like you want it to. So you have to have the set point and the capacity. Yeah, let me say that one more time. You have to have the set point and the capacity, and you have to have timers. You have to have triggers for when you want to adjust those set points throughout the day in that room. Meaning overnight, you're not going to keep it at the same temperature as you would during the day, right? So this is how all these systems tie together. And this is why I thought this was so beautiful. Where you want to go, your clarity document that I teach in personal organization trainings and in other places and in coaching says, this is where I want to go. It's essentially saying, this is what temperature I want this room to be. Okay. Your mindset, the books you read, the friends you're around, the mentors you have, the masterminds you do, the training you do, where you're headed. This forms your mental set points to align with what temperature you want that room to be, where you want to be in life. Okay. Your personal organization system is like the capacity of the duct system and the units and the power feed. And your morning routine is when during the day at the key moments, the set points change to make sure that the environment is right in the moment. It's a really, really good analogy. And I'd pat myself on the back if I had a little bit more range of motion here. Just kidding. But this is how it works. So if people were like, oh, Jason did a morning routine podcast. Jason did a personal organization podcast. Jason did a mindset podcast. Jason did okay, let's tie them all together. Okay. Here's how this system works. If you know your clarity, meaning you know your vision, your mission, your values, your big, hairy, audacious goal, what your strengths are, what's most important right now, what those goals are, that will show up in your leader standard work on a weekly basis in your personal organization system. Okay. You can't have a good personal organization system without that clarity document. I apologize for being so forward. You just can't do it. And you will have to have the right mindset to use that personal organization to show up in the moment, because when you're personally organized, you're getting all of those to-do list items out of your head, and you're going to be able to show up in the moment. So you have to be able to do the right things and have a rich and successful mindset. And your morning routine, which includes meditation, is what is going to cue you up to where you can be successful with that in a day. So let's go through this. Your clarity document says where are you going and what's most important right now? What are my goals? Those go on your leader standard work on your weekly work plan as a part of your personal organization system. And so every day when you show up, you're taking your to-do list and you're filtering in and time blocking into that day's personal organization system what you need to do so that you're accomplishing the 20% of the things that will bring 80% of your returns. Okay. And if you have the right mindset that day, then you'll show up and you'll give, because if you do those time blocked activities in a taking mentality, you still won't be successful. You have to be in a giving mentality. Now, here's where I'm going to take the ball and I'm going to spike it down the end zone. Like, this is going to be absolutely fantastic. It's not going to work unless you center yourself. So when I talked about the morning routines, the morning meditation, where I personally, I will say a prayer because I'm religious and spiritual. I will say a prayer, then I'll do box breathing. And after each series of box breathing, I'll put my hand in my heart and say, I'm grateful for something that I'm sincerely grateful for. I'll do that twice. So I hit 2 gratefuls. And then I breathe in and imagine my energy and I push that energy out. I've talked to you about that in the podcast. And I'll do that twice. And I'll say, when I imagine my energy being given, pushing out to the United States, to the world, to my family, to everybody, and I've breathed in and I've done that centering meditation, I will say, what is the one thing that I need to do today? And what is the second most important thing I need to do today? And so when I leave, my mind is centered. I mean, I personally will then read scriptures and make sure, and then I'll get right into my to-do list. So like, I am centered and focused. My point is this: you can have clarity. You can have your leader standard work. You can have your weekly work plan. You can have a to-do list. You can have a personal organization system, and you can time block. But if you don't find out from heaven or from the universe every day what the key things are and include that in your time blocking, and if you don't then do your time blocking in a giving mentality versus a taking mentality, you're not going to be as successful as you can be. So you need to know where you're going. You need to have that transferred onto your weekly planning systems. You need to have your day planning systems working well so you're focused. But every day you need to be focused on what heaven or the universe is telling you, centered with gratitude and giving, doing it in the right way. That's when leadership becomes remarkable. That's when you get those promotions. Because if you're in take mode, you're going to go to work and people are like, I don't want to work with Jason. He's just looking out for his own career. And they're going to start undermining me. But if I'm honestly always giving, which I attempt to do, which I do, I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just passionate about it. They're like, I'll support that guy. I'll work with that guy anywhere. And then success begets success, and success begets money, and money begets opportunities to bless more people's lives, and opportunities bless children and families and people that need training and all of these other things. So my point is this: you have to have your personal clarity that has to transition into your personal organization system with the right mindset, with a morning routine that will center you and continue your high performance. The vision for this is that we show up and we did basically, if you do this after 3 to 6 months, you'll be like, I can't believe how well that works. Jason's a genius. I've tied all these things together from different trainings. And you will design somebody where you're like, wow, I am wildly successful, immediately wildly successful, and you will become who you want to be. I promise you this works. I continually reinvent myself. Every role I reinvent myself, and I reinvent myself to head in the right direction, to be personally organized, caring for the people that I love. I do make mistakes, but caring for the people I love, and I ask every day from heaven, what do I need to be doing and listening to and focusing on? And let me do that with gratitude and a giving mindset, and life gets remarkable. On we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.